Hello everyone, welcome on in. It's Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. It's your number one tennis betting podcast and YouTube show brought to you in association with Bet Rivers. I'm your host Nigel Seeley, and weather outside might be frightful, but we're hot in the Betting Weekly studios. Back at the start of the tennis season, Sean Calvert landed a sweep last night, 2+ money picks, both cash in. Well done, Sean. Good to be back home in this freezing cold weather.
Yeah. I think, I've gone from 21, I was just saying, 21 degrees to minus, I think it's about -1 at the minute. It's just started snowing, so it's a bit of a shock to the old system. But yeah, it's always nice to be back in the studio. I feel like a bit more in control of things here, rather than obviously the last show I did, which was kind of chaotic a little bit because I was in Lanzarote and there's all sorts of things going on. But yeah, it's nice to be back in the saddle for the first show of the year here in my studio. Yeah, nice to get a couple of winners.
Nice couple of winners. You won a few quid. It's going to pay the letter that come through the letterbox this morning.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a relationship with Essex Police. They keep sending me letters about certain things. Well, certain things.
Be careful what you say. People's imaginations are unrivaled.
It's just speeding. It's just. I say just. Obviously, It's not what I should be doing. But I mean, some of these fines are ridiculous, aren't they? 44 in a 40, 36 in a 30. That's not speeding for me. Speeding for me is like, I don't know, 63 in a 40 or something like that. A little bit over, I think they're just trying to get money.
Speed awareness is very important. Be very careful, be vigilant out there. And, I'm surprised you never told me that you were solving crimes in Lanzarote. If you told me you were solving burglaries and helping police with inquiries, I'm sure you might give it a go for that,
I could ask for a magistrate hearing, so do you think I should defend myself and bring that up as well?
Well, if anyone can defend themselves, I'm sure you'll be right up there. I think you should have had a good winners, paid it, and be driving much more sensibly. That would be my
I will
advice.
be driving much more sensibly. I literally have no choice, so yes.
Okay. Let's move on to the tennis action, which we're here for. I'm delighted to say yesterday, as we said, 2+ money picks, a +138 winner and a +135 winner as well, which drifted. It was originally +114 with Coleman beating Shapovalov, and the other one was Muller getting the win in his match. Who did he play? Kekmanovic.
Kekmanovic, yeah.
Really good start to the year. Unfortunately, a couple of our outright picks lost, hence the reason why I changed the staking plan. Really good son. And the other one is through half the price as well. Yeah.
I mean,
you're on about the Norrie match.
Humbert, what was he? 3 match points up at 6-3 in the second set tiebreak for a straight sets win. What would he be in play? 1.01, 1.02, maybe at the absolute best. It'd have been 1.01, wouldn't it, at that point? First 1.01 loser of the season didn't take long, did it? Like you just said, you were right to change the staking plan on the outrights. It's just such variance, isn't it? You can get 25-1 winners, 28-1, 50-1 winners, whatever, and then you get these that lose from 100-1 on. So that is always the game in the outrights.
But we still have one go for us. Boo had a good win as well.
You think Wu started well? Started very well.
Plus 2.87 units on the first 2 matches. Obviously, we've got to take off the outrun markers. We don't shirk away from the realism here. We update it as the week goes on. Yep. And a good week for Tim Dennis on the WTA show as well. On our first match bet show, he had 2 winners from 3. Bit unlucky for the clean slope there. He's plus 1.24 units. Make sure you check that out on the YouTube channel. We'll be back on Saturday as well. Okay, let's move on to tomorrow's action across the tennis on the ATP Tour. And we're going to start off with Brisbane, where we have 3 matches to discuss. Before we go into the matches, Sean, what are the conditions? Weather looking good? There was a bit of rain around, wasn't there? Last I saw, I don't know if it was cloudy, bit of rain, but is it all clear for tomorrow?
That is a very good question. I do have some statistics on what's gone on so far in Brisbane. They do include qualies, so I'm never that happy about throwing out stats that include qualifying matches. But after 27 matches in qualies and the main draw, it's 80% holds and 74% first serve points won. The holds is quite a bit down from the 86% roughly of the last 2 editions. First serve points won, though, is roughly the same, just a little bit down. So I would imagine some of those matches, as I said, are qualies, which is not always a great indicator. Perhaps a better indicator is what Daniel Medvedev said, and he said the court is super fast, which from someone that normally complains that everything's too slow, and I think he played at night as well. He did play at night, didn't he? So he said it's super fast. Just looking at the weather here, there was a little bit of rain around, but that's a tiny bit. I think the rest of it looks fine. Just looking at the forecast here for Wednesday, 30 degrees. Thursday 29, Friday 29. As I say, there's a bit of unsettled weather coming in much later in the week. But as far as the matches we're going to talk about for tomorrow are concerned, the weather looks pretty good. A little bit hot. I mean, I'm sure the players would like it a little bit cooler, but it looks fine.
Our first match is as close to a 50-50 match you can get. If you look at the rankings between Majchrzak and Opelka, 59 for Majchrzak, 60 for Opelka. So only one spot in the ATP Tour rankings separates the two of them. Nothing really separates them in the betting. -104 Majchrzak, -121 Opelka. He's the favourite, the American. And the total here is the interesting one, 25.5. Obviously, it's very, very high, but Opelka is such a big server, giant on the court, and the last time they met was way back in 2018 in a Challenger event, and Opelka, no surprise, won 7-6, 7-6. Early move is for Opelka. The record coming into this year, both of them have one win already in Brisbane in round one, both of them a straight sets victory as well. So this is as close to 50-50 you can get. I suppose all eyes will be drawn to the total. All eyes will be drawn to first set overs, obviously with Opelka. And we saw yesterday with Petri Perregard in his match as well. It was another 7-6, 7-6 match as well. So, tie breaks, games, I suppose that is the way you want to look at. But is there any value at these high lines?
Not really, not for me on the totals. 25.5. You just, what is it? It's got to be two tie breaks. You could see that from the Opelka side, but Majchrzak's a good returner. Opelka, he just looks a bit short for me here. Made the final of Brisbane 12 months ago, this particular tournament, but his hardcourt form it's not as good as Majchrzak's. Last 12 months on outdoor hard at main level. If we compare the two, Majchrzak 64% win rate and a service points won and return points won total of 103, which is very good indeed. Opelka just a 53% win rate and a total of 98, so he's way down on the numbers that the poll has produced. And it's the same old story with Opelka, still doing nothing on return of serve. 29% of return points won on outdoor hard at main level over the last year. Break serve just 8.4% of the time, so that's shows you why his lines are so high. It's nowhere near good enough. He's just basically relying on 7-6, 7-6, which was the score when these guys played many, many years ago. 7-6, 7-6, and two tight tiebreakers as well, 11-9, 10-8. But Majchrzak's got a much more balanced profile. Nowhere near as serve dominated. He wins 38% of return points on outdoor hard at main level this past 12 months, Majchrzak, which is way, way better than Opelka. So if anyone's going to break, you would massively expect it to be Majchrzak. Opelka, I'm never sure about him. I know he made the final here last year, but his form, it's not been great for probably since then, really. First round, he had a quite a good matchup against Dane Sweeney. I don't know whether you saw the height differential between those two. For people that don't know, Dane Sweeney's 5 foot. I mean, he's smaller than me. Dane Sweeney's 5'7". Right?
You're not taller than 5'7",
I
Mr.
am.
Calvert.
I am taller than 5'7".
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not having that. You must have had platform shoes on when you ready. No way.
I've been officially measured in my medical. I'll have you know. I'm taller than... Not by
you
much.
Must have you must have put Natasha's high heels on to go there.
She doesn't wear high heels generally. Dodgy back. She's getting on a bit. Anyway, he's 5'7", Dane Sweeney. Reilly Opelka, as we know, 6'11". He had to stand on a chair, Sweeney, to do the sort of the handshake and the hug at the end. So it's tough for a guy that small to play against someone who's serving, from 6'11". Majchrzak, obviously a much taller guy, got in as a lucky loser, but he should have beaten Halys in qualies. Majchrzak, he won that match against Halys 111-89 in terms of service points won and return points won total. So he should definitely have beaten Halys. Ended up losing a tight one. So his form's pretty good, and towards the back end of last season, he again should have beaten Ben Shelton. I think it was in Paris or Vienna, Basel. Yeah, in Basel when he had a volley to put the match away, missed it, and ended up losing. So I'm not concerned about him against big servers. He's beaten Berrettini as well. So he just looks decent value. Opelka just looks poor at -121. He might win this match, Opelka, but that price is no good for me. So Majchrzak, yeah, minus 104. Yeah, take him.
Majchrzak, minus 104 with Bet Rivers. I suppose that the American market wants to be with the American, and that's why the price is the way it is. So if you're an American fan and you want to be with the man, you can with Sean. But Majchrzak is the man who he thinks are going to get the better against the giant Reilly Opelka. If you are American, please hit the subscribe button. Anyone, really, hit the subscribe button to the channel. But obviously, if you're American and able to bet with Bet Rivers in your jurisdiction, we would need you to, love you to subscribe as well, because that's what we really want this year. Lots of American subscribers who have a little bit of a wager and open an account with Bet Rivers. Now, talking to Americans, we have an all-American clash in the next match. And this is a very interesting one for me. I think this is quite a fascinating match, actually, to be fair. This one is on 8 o'clock tomorrow. Remember, all these matches can be streamed live on the Bet Rivers app. And this one is between Lerner Tien and Alex Michelsen. Now, Lerner Tien is someone who's burst onto the scene in the last couple of, end of last year, this year, a player that's promising big things. Risen up to the rankings to 26. He won the tournament in Metz, beat Norrie in the final, one of the last tournaments of the year. Then went on to win the Next Gen tournament this year. Didn't really have many people to play in that, to be fair, but he won the event. So he's in good form. He's up against Alex Michelsen here, who they've met 4 times previously. Twice last year and once at the next gen in 2024. But on the regular tour, twice last season, both of them were very easy wins for Michelsen. He won 6-3, 6-3 in Toronto. He won 6-4, 6-2 in Houston. And in those matches, he was minus 110 with the bookies, with Bet Rivers, to win the match. Done nothing wrong. Now he's plus 138 after a good win against Duckworth. Lerner Tien is minus 175. Spread is 2.5, and total here is 22.5. I mentioned it yesterday. Lerner Tien, it seems to me, a player that the public have massively got involved in. And this looks like a very, very, very bad price. I know he's doing well. I know he's in form. But Michelsen at plus 138, having beaten him twice last year in straight sets, doesn't look right to me at all. You're going to tell me now Tien's going to win it easy, aren't you, surely?
No, I'm not. I agree. It does look short. Minus 175. I mean, we had him last year, towards the end of last year. It was Metz, wasn't it? Last tournament of the year. We had him on the outrights. So I'm not putting Tien down in any way, shape, or form. He's improving massively and he's been in great form. But he's never been favourite against his mate Michelsen, and they are really good friends. These two, they know each other really well from juniors back in California, which it always makes it a tricky match for if you are such good friends and you know each other so well. It makes any match tricky. I just think it'd be even trickier for Tien mentally now, knowing that he'll know he's favourite. I'm sure he doesn't look at the odds, but he'll know that people will expect him to win, given the form that he's been in. And, he's never beaten Michelsen on the main tour, as you say, beat him in that next gen knockabout, but, nothing on the main tour. And if you look at the head-to-head of all their matches, I'm including the next gen, the 3 matches, the service points won and return points won totals, Michelsen 107 to Tien's 93. You could certainly argue that Tien's improved since 1 or 2 of those matches, but, the most recent one was only last summer. It wasn't long ago at all, and Michelsen won it pretty well. So if you also just look at the last 12 months and outdoor hard main level of statistics, compare them, they've both got exactly the same. The service points won and return points won, total of 100. The difference being Tien's got a better win rate. So he's won 65% of his matches, probably a slightly high win rate given the fact that he's only got a total of 100. Michelsen's total win rate is 54%, which would be about right for a 100 total, you would think. So Tien's probably been winning some matches that he perhaps has had no right to win, or just edging a few that maybe Michelsen hasn't. But I also feel like the quick conditions would favour Michelsen. The bit more effective on first serve. Tien's serve has certainly improved in recent times, but Michelsen is a more of a quick court player, you would suggest. And as you said, Michelsen was priced up minus 120 when they met in that match in Canada last summer, and he, on outdoor hard, similar-ish conditions, probably not as quick as what you'll find here in Brisbane. So it just looks a poor price, minus 175. It's just based on how Tien's been playing in recent months. This is a very different situation. He's playing his good friend, as I say. It's always difficult in that when that scenario pops up, and I just feel like it's worth taking a chance on Michelsen at plus 130. Yeah, I think is a little bit of value.
I think there's a tremendous bit of value. Plus 138 for Michelsen. If you have your eyes on a plus money bet with Bet Rivers, like that Michelsen at plus 138, like the 2 plus money bets we gave you yesterday, Betting Weekly is giving you a little giveaway, pizza money to look into. Use our pizza money bonus code, Betting Weekly 1218, to get a $10 bonus bet to use on any plus money bet at Bet Rivers. The code is Betting Weekly 1218. You have until January 11th to redeem the code at any US Bet Rivers sportsbook. Good for one bet for eligible players only. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Remember that offer. I know a lot of you have already taken up on that offer. So please do if you're able to do. A nice bit of $10 bonus bet to use on any plus money bet. And that is a very, very good plus money bet you have there on our man Alex Michelsen. Now, next matchup is an interesting one. It's between Brandon Nakashima. This also is 8 o'clock this evening Eastern Time, up against Quentin Halys. Quentin Halys beat our future pick, Alex Popperin, in the last round. But we spoke about players that have motivation, and Brandon Nakashima certainly has that. He's 33 in the world, trying to get in the top 32, be seeded for the Australian Open, and hence the reason why he's minus 235 here on the money line with Bet Rivers. Plus 185 for Halys, spread 2.5, total 23.5. A multitude of different markets on all these matches, about 36 different markets available, including set spread and set betting, as you can see on the screen here. But Halys is in good form. He's played 3 matches this week, beat Majchrzak in qualification, come through a tight 3-setter, and a good win against Popperin as well in another tight 3-setter. Nakashima obviously had the better of Davidovich and Fokina, but end of last season, the American wasn't in good form, losing 4 of his last 5 matches. This might be a little bit closer than those I'd suggest as well, Sean.
Yeah, it could be a tight one, certainly initially. I mentioned the other day that Nakashima had to win that match against Davidovich Fokina to stand a chance of getting in the top 32. Maybe I should have just bet Nakashima based on that. I'm sure some people probably did, and it worked out very well if you took that plus money. This one just looks decent for a set one overs bet, which is a bet that has come in quite a lot in Brisbane. Let's have a look at where are we? Plus 10.5. 38% of the matches have been over 10.5 in the last couple of years in set one in Brisbane. It just the way these two play, it just feels like this is a good one for that. 2 big servers that do struggle at times on return, particularly when they're playing fellow big servers, if you like. If you look at what Halys has done, we all know what Halys is like. I've mentioned him numerous times on this show. He let me down a couple of times last year, and of course it's sod's law, if you like, that he's turned up this year and beaten Popperin. Popperin didn't play that well. Disappointing, really. But if we look at what Halys has done, he's held serve 93% of the time so far in his 3 matches here in Brisbane. But he's only broken serve 12.5% of the time, winning just 30% of return points. So it's same old for Halys in quick conditions. Tough to break, doesn't return that well. Nakashima, similarly, held serve 91% of the time against Davidovich Fokina, but historically, return of serve has been his problem. He's tended to play too many tie breaks, and he struggles to break serve against big servers as well. He's only broken serve 10.6% of the time and won 32% of return points away from clay. That's hard and hard courts and grass versus the big servers in my database. So struggles to break against the bigger servers. The pair have never met either. Certainly not on the main level. Not that I can see. Maybe they've played in some sort of exos or something like that, but they've certainly never met on the main tour, which is always a good sign. If you're betting set one overs, they don't have a real read on each other's serve. So it's just a lean for me here, but I would go set one over 10.5 games. It's going to be round about plus 138, I think, with Bet Rivers.
Plus 138, another plus money bet there, which you could use that plus money, pizza money bonus offer if you want to use that. So remember to use that if you need it. Remember the code, Betting Weekly 1218. Let's move on to our final match. And our only match we are going to look at over in Hong Kong. There's obviously 2 matches this week on the 250. And our final match is the match between Coleman, Wong and Gabriel Diallo. Both of these had decent wins in round 1, both straight sets. Diallo beat De Jong. And in Wong beat Navoni. Got to be careful with your De Jongs and your Wongs there. Make sure you get them right. If you look at the match betting, Diallo is minus 250. Wong is plus 195. Spread is plus 3.5 and minus 3.5. And total here is 22.5. Diallo needs it quick. Is it quick enough for the Canadian?
Yeah, I mean, conditions do look on the livelier side. I haven't seen a schedule yet, actually. I don't know if this is... I would imagine this might be a night match. They tend to put their...
I've got this at 1:40 a.m. Eastern time. So the early hours of Wednesday morning.
Okay. I've got to convert that to local time now. I'll come back to that in a minute.
I think it's about 7 hours. Is it 7 hours? You've lost me. I don't know. So if that's 1:40, well, I'll convert it. You give us the reason and I'll convert it.
I've got it here, actually. It starts at 1:30,
Okay.
2:32.
Okay.
So it's actually mid-afternoon, this match, by the look of it. But yeah, I mean, it's not particularly hot in Hong Kong at the minute. As I say, it's about sort of 19, 20 degrees. So it's not, for me, conditions aren't as quick here as they are in Brisbane. But yeah, Diallo minus 250. No, just not for me. I mean, there's a couple of factors here. These two are doubles partners this week. So Wong will be pretty familiar with the Diallo serve. I mean, presumably practiced with him, certainly played with him on the doubles court, seen a lot of his serve. Obviously knows where he's going to place it. They obviously have chats about that during the doubles match, so he's familiar with the Diallo service. And obviously Wong's playing at home, massively motivated. He's also played well against big servers last season. He played 2 of them last season and won both. One against Ben Shelton, which I remember very well because I had Shelton outright in Miami and Wong beat him in the second round. And he also beat Mpechi Pericard on outdoor hard last season as well. So there's no issue for me with Coleman Wong against big servers. And statistically, there's nothing that Diallo's done really on outdoor hard that should put him at this price. On grass, we had him last year, didn't we, to win Mallorca, wasn't it? Not Mallorca? I can't remember. Oh, no, Rosmarlin. He won Rosmarlin, didn't he? So for me, that seems to be the surface that he's produced his best on. Here, in the first round, Diallo, he edged a serve-dominated match, and unsurprisingly serve-dominated with Diallo, but against De Jong. De Jong's got a decent, first serve for a small guy, but not a massive server. And Diallo only won 28% of return points in that match, and there was only one break point in the entire match between De Jong and Diallo. So the return game certainly needs work as far as Diallo's concerned. As I said, his stats on and his form on outdoor hard, it's not that great. If we look at the last 12 months on this surface at main level, it's actually Wong that's got better statistics. Wong, 60% win rate, service points won and return points won, total of 102. Diallo, just a 43% win rate and a total of 99. So I'm not really getting this minus 250. Wong's not, he's not going to be lacking for motivation here. You could probably argue that he'd be the more motivated player. There's not many tournaments, not many chances he gets to play in Hong Kong, just the once a year. Won his first round against Navone. I like the handicap here on the basis that Diallo's return game's not up to it, and I expect this to be closer than these odds suggest. So I'm going to take Wong plus 3.5 games on the handicap here, but I wouldn't put anybody off the money line as well.
Is that an official play?
Is it plus 3.5 games, yeah, on the handicap?
Yeah, plus 3.5 spread, minus 125.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go on this one.
See, if you let me, I told you to do 2 unit plays on them matches, didn't I? We would have a nice bit of money that day. I think we're doing the right thing. I think keep this nice little 1 unit plays, when we start one and up here a little bit, and just keep the outright ones a little bit small, and we'll show a substantial profit this year. I will bet anybody decent money that we make profit on this show this season. Last season was just the
only reason we didn't last year was them 2 outrights that didn't count.
Yeah, exactly. And we're adjusting our staking plan now. We'll make money. No problem. You want to be with us not only for this week. You want to be with us throughout the season, where we're going to be cashing tickets as well on this show and on our WTA show. And remember, use that pizza money bonus. I'm going to tell you that after Sean gives his official plays. So you might want to use it. Sean, what are your official plays?
Yes. So just going from back to front, the one I've just done was Coleman Wong plus 3.5 games. I think that was minus 125, you said, wasn't it, against Gabriel Diallo. Prior to that, it was just 2 money lines, I think. Alex Michelsen at plus 138 with Bet Rivers to beat Lerner Tien. And the first one I talked about was Kamil Majchrzak, who is, I believe, a minus 104 chance of Bet Rivers to beat Reilly Opelka.
And remember the Betting Weekly Little Pizza Money giveaway. Use our Pizza Money bonus code BettingWeekly1218 to get a $10 bonus bet to use on any plus money bet at Bet Rivers. Betting Weekly 1218. You can use that on the Michelsen match. You have until January 11th to redeem the code at any US Bet River Sportsbook. Good for one bet for eligible players only. Must be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Myself and Sean will be back tomorrow with more picks, leans on Betting Weekly game bet match for these two tournaments in Brisbane, in Hong Kong. Sean has got to go down to fill in the form to the police office and warm himself up from the cold temperatures over here. And I'm going to sit back and watch a bit of tennis action from last night and be really researching. I'm really up for it this season. I'll tell you, I really feel up for it. I feel confident we're going to make some money. Sean, have a good rest of your day. And I'll speak to you tomorrow.